Oh, hello, everybody. It's 1 o'clock here, November 7th, 2024. If you guys could comment and let me know if you can hear me okay. I've got a lot of information to cover, and I know there's going to be about 4 billion of you that ask, how much snow am I getting in my house? And I'm just going to ignore you because I can't help 260,000 people by carrying 10 people on my back. I'm going to go over all of those details, and whether you choose to pay attention or not is completely up to you. Caitlin, volume's fine. Thank you. Lindsay, thank you. Becky, good audio. Perfect. Ola, hello, 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 hello. Jen, hello. Elizabeth, hello. Guys, let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, I'm getting a lot of information into my inbox, specifically about Lincoln County. So I'm going to have information scrolling across the bottom. Obviously, the Lincoln County Sheriff is saying not to travel. Most of the roads are closed anyway, so you wouldn't be able to. But people are actually trying to go around barriers, and they're getting stuck. Stop it. The hell's wrong with you? Don't do that. The city of Trinidad is also telling people not to travel. And I did get some information sent to me. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are stranded in Lincoln County. All the hotels in Lyman and Burlington are already booked. They're already full. But apparently, there are businesses and churches that are opening their doors to stranded motorists. The Lyman Methodist Church on B Avenue in Lyman is accepting stranded motorists. The Lyman Senior Center on E Avenue is also accepting stranded motorists. If you're in Hugo, the Hugo Methodist Church on 5th Street is opening their doors to stranded motorists. And in the Flagler area, the Wheatland Conference Center on East 2nd Street is accepting stranded motorists. If you know of any other businesses in and around Lincoln County that are opening their doors to stranded motorists, if you guys could drop them in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. That is in Lincoln County. I just wanted to pass that information along. Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Cody Wilson, Denver and Front Range Weather. I do not work for the news. I don't work for the government. I'm an independent meteorologist. I don't use apps. Though we're not talking about apps. This is a historic November snowstorm, one of the bigger ones we've seen since 1946, and it is hammering the southern halves of Colorado. New Mexico is a disaster right now, and I'm going to show you how this is going to evolve over the next 24 to 48 hours. I got my damn helmet on. Thank you to Insure You Colorado for sending me this damn helmet. I look like I'm an extra in MASH. If we were doing a reboot of MASH, I would fit right in. Comments real quick. Chelsea saying she lives out in Stratton to Colorado. Thoughts on tomorrow's commute? Yeah. I'm going to say this as nicely as I possibly can. I have to focus on being a meteorologist, guys. And obviously, if there's life-saving information that's being sent to me, I will pass that along to you. But I cannot focus on talking about road conditions and helping people plan events. I've got way too much on my plate to be doing that. Let me share my screen real quick, and I'll point you in the direction that you need to go. If you want to check on road conditions and webcams in real time, go to coloradotrip.org. On the left-hand side, click on road conditions, and it literally, we're seeing road closures continue to increase as the storm gets worse. Basically, along and south of I-76, you should not be traveling. If you have the ability to stay home and or work remotely, you should probably do that. If you're an employer and you're listening to me and you're out in these locations and you have the ability to close your doors to keep people safe, I'm going to encourage you to do so. And that's, really all I'm going to say about that. I made an earlier post about checking on road conditions and webcams. If you just go on to Denver and Front Range Weather onto the book face, and I'll show you that real quick. Oh, apparently Facebook is being a dum-dum for me. Okay, never mind. I'll go back to that in a second. But here's the satellite image. And there's your storm right there. It is clear as day, spinning like a top. Here just west of Albuquerque, here along the Arizona-New Mexico state line. And what it's doing is it is tapping into moisture from the Gulf of California and the Gulf of Mexico, and it is literally throwing up on New Mexico, north central Texas in the Panhandle, Oklahoma around Boise City, and getting into southwest Kansas, Scott City, Garden City, all the cities in southwest Kansas, Liberal, and then, of course, getting into the southern half of Colorado. Here in northern Colorado, Larimer, Weld, Morgan County, basically, if you're along and north of I-76, we have had a little bit of snur off and on here in Greeley, but the reason why is because the storm is just a little bit too far south and west for us to be getting anything of any significance. And that's partially because, one, we're too far away, and two, because winds are northerly off of the Cheyenne Ridge and the foothills. That is a downsloping wind for you newbies. Anytime we get a north or northwest wind off the Cheyenne Ridge and the foothills, that dries us out. Because you push air onto a lower plane, you compress that air, you warm it up, and you dry it out. That is no bueno for precipitation down here, okay? What's the next thing I want to do? Oh, let's talk about possible additional snowfall accumulation Friday and Saturday. Now, this is on top of what's already fell. This does not include what is going to fall for the rest of the day today. This is additional snowfall Friday through Saturday. Now, if I need to change this and adjust some numbers based on some forecast model data, I will certainly do that. But for right now, this is what we're looking at. And for those of you geographically challenged little chicken nuggets, I spoil you freaking rotten. You're welcome. I put some little stars on the map to label a few cities. This is Cheyenne. The center one is the Denver Metro. And down in the abyss is Pueblo. So Cheyenne, Denver, Pueblo. And then obviously the key down here at the bottom corresponds to the color shades, and then obviously the numbers will tell you what the rough approximation is. I'm doing probabilities here because that's how we do forecasts around here in Colorado, deterministic. Threw that out the window years ago. So I know this is November 8th, but I will adjust this accordingly for tomorrow's update if I need to. In the Denver Metro, this is just Friday through Saturday. This is phase 3. On the low end, probably 3 to 6 is a good bet. The average snowfall across the Denver Metro will probably be closer to 6 to 10, and there may be a gradient across the city, less up north, more down south. I'll show you why here in a second. And then on the high end, another 9 to 14 inches on top of what you've already received. And I'll do the radar simulation of what this storm's going to look like as it moves out of New Mexico and into Colorado and Kansas Friday and during the day on Saturday. If you're I-25 south of Denver, so we're talking about Colorado Springs, Pueblo, the donut hole, it's not going to act like a donut hole. Why? Because of upslope. And I will show you what that, again, looks like in the radar simulation here in a second. So if you're south of Denver, Palmer Divide, El Paso, Lincoln County, going down into Pueblo County. If you're on the Raton Mesa, Godspeed. For those of you in Trinidad, you're probably going to get more snow in this one storm than you normally get in an entire season. Well, maybe not quite. You'll probably get more snow from this storm than you normally would for about 75% of a normal winter. It could be in excess of 4 feet by the time it's all said and done in Colorado City, Rye, Walsenburg, Trinidad, Raton Pass. Forget about it. You need a snowmobile or a tauntaun to travel in southern Colorado. If you try by vehicle, you ain't gonna make it. Okay. All right. Eastern Plains, so high end, I-25 south of Denver, up to 2 feet. Hi, if you're just joining, like, comment, share. Let me know where you're watching from. The more shares we get, obviously, the more people we reach, because I guess this caught a lot of people off guard for some weird reason. But, okay, a few comments here and there. Vanna, leave early Sunday. Okay. Aaron needs a new helmet in Trinidad. Smart. Naomi in Canyon City. Holler. Linda in Rye, hi, you're going to be buried. So, my thoughts are with you. Conifer and Nancy, you guys have got some pretty good snowfall. Amy is in Brighton. Catherine in Northwestern Elizabeth. Peter, Colorado Springs. Jill in Bennett. Nice helmet. Thank you. Jeanette in Arizona, where it's not snurring. Alan Spark, awesome. Good stuff. Great. So good to see you guys. Thank you for your time. I want to go through this methodically. We've got almost 2,000 people watching right now. So I want to make sure I give you as much information as I can. And I'll show you what the radar looks like as we go into this afternoon and evening. One thing that's going to be really difficult here on the Eastern Plains, if you can see my cursor, is the snow. There's going to be a rain snow line that sets up. And this may also come into play north of I-76 as well. So if you're along a line from like Sterling to Burlington to Lamar, you're either going to get a lot of snow or quite a bit of rain, depending on which side of the rain snow line you're on. And I'll show you what that looks like here in just a second. Northern Front Range. So Fort Collins, Greeley, Loveland, Morgan County, low end. And this forecast is contingent on whether we see any rain or not. That's going to be part of the equation I'm going to try and figure out today. On the low end, slushy 1 to 3. Average, I think, 3 to 6. And that gradient will be pretty dramatic. So if you're in Greeley and you travel north to Cheyenne, you're probably going to see less in Cheyenne, Kimball, Nebraska, Sidney than you are versus going down south to Sterling, Briggsdale, Greeley, up the 392 corridor. It's going to be weird. I'm just telling you that right now. High end, if it's all snow and the storm continues to track exactly the way I think it's going to, high end could be 8 to 14, through Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon. Okay. And again, pockets of rain possible along and north of I-76, especially if you're below 5,000 feet. And I know here in Greeley, we're around 48 to 4,900 feet. So I'm going to, let's see, hold on a second, bear with me. I'm going to throw up the radar and show you guys what this looks like on radar. Perfect. And we're going to loop. So obviously you can see the slug of moisture coming out of the south, and it looks like some of this has changed over to rain on the far southeast plains. So you're probably seeing rain in Lamar right now, but you are seeing snow in La Junta. So the rain snow line is, somewhere west of Burlington, around Cheyenne Wells, somewhere between Lamar and La Junta, there on Highway 50, and going down into far southern Colorado and into northern portions of New Mexico. And if you switch the radar over to Pueblo, that we're just getting an endless supply of moisture, because on the east side of the storm circulation, where the winds are coming directly out of the south, you're getting a ton of moisture advection from the Gulf of Mexico. And so it's just a conveyor belt of water that's being fed into New Mexico. It's amazing how just a couple of months ago we were talking about catastrophic fires in New Mexico, and now they're going to be, and then they had flooding, catastrophic monsoonal rains, and now some of these areas are going to be setting records with snowfall. It's been a wild 3 to 4 months in this part of the country, but this is what the radar looks like. Very impressive radar echoes indicating that very heavy snow is falling here in Lincoln County, where obviously there's a lot of stranded motorists, a lot of road closures that will continue to stack up as our storm continues on. And then obviously it changes to rain as you get into the warm sector here on parts of the southeast plains. But let's look ahead to phase 3 of what this storm is going to look like as we head into Friday and Saturday. So I'm going to take down the radar and pull up the forecast model and read a few more comments. Susie, I hope your helmet is fur and fleece lined. Nope, all helmet, but I got my damn helmet. So many familiar faces and a lot of new faces. We've had 10,000 people follow the page in the last 2 days, which is really cool. So to all of you that are new, hello. Okay. let's share my screen here again real quick, and then let's look at what this baby is going to look like heading into Friday and Saturday. Here we go. So on this particular model, this is called the high resolution rapid refresh. This is a high resolution forecast model. One of many models I like to use to put a forecast together for you guys that I push out to the public every single day. And what I've done over the last 4 to 5 days leading up to this event is identified what the outliers were going to be. I discarded those and then tried to gauge a rough estimation of one, what the storm track was going to do, and number two, what the potential snowfall accumulation was going to do. And despite all the complications and the uncertainty in the forecast models, I think we've knocked this out of the park so far. But let's go back to the beginning. This is the latest round of data from the herd that just came in. You can see this is Denver right here for you geographically challenged little chicken nuggets. Here's Colorado Springs, Pueblo, Trinidad, Lamar, Burlington, and Goodland here along I-70. And then as you come north, GXY, that's the METAR code for Greeley at the Greeley Airport. FNL is Fort Collins and Loveland right here in Larimer County. And then this is Cheyenne going down I-80 into Kimball, Nebraska, IBM, Sydney, Ogallala. Here's Lake Mac right here, and North Platte. Okay, let's loop this forward. By the way, if you guys have a beverage, cheers. That almost went down the wrong pipe. Shit. Sorry. I'm such a moron sometimes, a neurospicy moron. I inherited that from my mother. Anytime I'm eating food or drinking something, it goes down the wrong pipe at least once a day. I am so dysfunctional. It's not even funny. Okay. Well, pretty sure some of it's coming out my nose. I need to wash my hands. Okay. Yeah, it's a blue Celsius. I am addicted to Celsius. That and black coffee and wine, which, by the way, thank you all for your donations, by the way. If I could turn my computer around, I would show you my wine rack. It is beautiful. All right, back on track. So here's what the HRRR is showing. So through the rest of this afternoon and evening, there's just going to be waves of precipitation that move in from the south. And obviously, if you can see my mouse cursor right here, there's a rain-snow line. It's somewhere around Goodland and Burlington, down to Lamar and Springfield. SPD is Springfield. That will fluctuate west or east depending on what the track of the storm does. But as we head into tonight, notice we'll get scattered areas of rain and snow showers here north of I-70 and I-76. The further away from the storm you get out of northern Colorado and into the western Nebraska panhandle, and also the further east you go, I think it'll be warm enough for rain just because of that surge of water that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. There's a lot of warm air. There's an elevated mixed layer or a trough of warm air aloft associated with this. And if you get far enough away from the cold pool here along the Front Range in the Eastern Plains, the snow will change to rain. So that's what you're seeing here. There could even be some thunderstorms mixed in here too. Certainly down here in north central Texas. So getting into tonight, the showers diminish as we fight a combination of far proximity or lack of proximity, if you will, to the storm, and also the downsloping winds coming off of the Cheyenne Ridge here for northern Colorado. So we may actually see a brief break along and north of the Palmer Divide going into tonight. So it'll be very, very short-lived. Notice all the bright reflectivities here. This is a lot of rain. As those 700 millibar winds strengthen, the storm's going to undergo cyclogenesis as it's moving out of New Mexico and onto the lee. I talked about this yesterday, or the day before yesterday, on my live video. I talked about Lee, Colorado cyclogenesis. So as the storm comes off the mountains and onto the plains, that column of air stretches. It spins faster. Think about an ice skater on the ice. They bring their arms in together. They spin faster. The storm is doing the same exact thing in the atmosphere. So you can literally see the reflectivity change and the moisture just explode out of the south as this storm undergoes cyclogenesis. As a science nerd, I'm fascinated by this, and you can literally see it happening on the radar in real time. And it looks similar to this in with our March 2021 snowstorm, but this one, very bizarre. This is November, not March. So let's go overnight. This is around midnight tonight. Comment. Yeah, they're I mean, Sherry's asking if we might get some thunder snur. There's a very real possibility, especially here on the eastern plains where you're kind of close to that rain snow line. There could be some claps of thunder, and you may actually see some flashes of light from lightning, and it's snowing. We get some thunder snur out here on the eastern plains. That would be awesome. And if you do, please get videos and send it to me. Okay. Jennifer, no more snow. I just shoveled 2 days straight. You might be shoveling for a couple more days. Ken, I love cyclogenesis. So do I. Christina, I love my I love your helmet. Thank you. I love my helmet too. All right. Overnight and into the day on Friday. Here we go. This is phase 3. Storm is starting to move out of New Mexico. And here we go. All of this moisture I just pointed to that is surging out of the Gulf of Mexico is getting wrapped into the storm circulation, and it's being thrown onto the eastern plains along the Front Range. And because the storm is moving closer to us here in northern Colorado, the winds coming around the top of the storm, the calm ahead of the storm, are no longer downsloping. They are coming out of the east. Anybody that has lived in Colorado long enough, you know there's really only one wind direction that provides a major Front Range storm, whether it's rain or snow, and that is directly out of the east. If you can smell Greeley, I'm just saying, if you can smell Greeley, that's not good. Shout out to my farmers and ranchers, because I grew up as a farmer and a rancher. I have an affinity for everybody that's going through the shit right now, because it's hard enough doing what you do for a living, but then when you throw the elements into the mix, it's a mess. So my thoughts are with all of you. So overnight, going into Friday morning, by the time you wake up in Denver Friday morning, it should be snowing again. It'll be snowing like a banshee on the Palmer Divide and going down into southern Colorado. Again, you've got that rain snow line, and there could be some embedded thunderstorms, some thunder schnur on the east and southeast plains going into Friday morning. This is Friday afternoon around noon. Easy, cursor. Easy. Okay. Notice precipitation is just now starting to creep up onto the Cheyenne Ridge along and south of I-80. And notice there is a rain snow line here. So it could be warm enough. I'm not saying it will be. I am skeptical, but I still need to at least mention this possibility. There could be a rain snow line here across northern and northeast Colorado where temperatures may be warm enough for this to start out as rain, or there will be pockets of rain, which will affect how much snow accumulates late Friday and into the day on Saturday. Okay, it's something I need to watch very, very closely. And again, that's why I also talked about probabilities. So, this is Friday afternoon between about noon and 3 o'clock. You should start seeing rain or snow falling here across the northern Front Range, Fort Collins, Loveland, Greeley, stretching up the I-76 corridor, and in the far western portions of the Nebraska Panhandle, especially along and south of I-80. Okay, this is going into Friday night. We're just getting schmammered at this point. Okay, any rain that's falling Friday afternoon and into Friday evening looks to change over to wet snow here across the northern Front Range, and even getting up into southeast Wyoming, western Nebraska Panhandle. It looks like there's going to be a rain snow line again from about Sterling to Sydney up to Scotts Bluff. So unfortunately, you're getting moisture no matter what, which I'm never going to complain about that. But this rain snow line is going to be really bizarre across the northern Front Range and getting up into Wyoming and Nebraska as we head overnight Friday and into Saturday. And that will probably limit snowfall accumulation potential the further north and east you get away from the Front Range. But, this continues overnight and into Saturday morning before it eventually exits the region Saturday afternoon and into Saturday night. So if you get rid of the simulated radar and look at potential snowfall accumulation, just based on what the HRRR is showing us, you're looking at another 2+ feet on top of what's already fell starting now in southern Colorado. You're looking at maybe 1 to 2 feet along and south of the Palmer Divide. And then there's going to be a wicked rain snow line. If you're along and north of I-76, where there could be large gradients in snowfall accumulation over very short distances. And that's why I outlined these snowfall probabilities, and I'll let you read them one more time. The highest uncertainty is going to be that where exactly that rain snow line sets up on the far eastern plains as the trowel really starts to develop and get wrapped into the storm circulation from the south. And the highest uncertainty is going to be just exactly how much snow accumulates here across the northern Front Range in Larimer, Weld, and Morgan County, especially along the South Platte River, following I-76 up into Nebraska. It's going to be a fun storm. It's complicated. There's a lot of moving parts, and I'm having the time of my life. This is absolutely fantastic. And when I said this was going to be a drought-busting storm, I wasn't kidding, was I? Lot of questions about my house. I wish I had the time to answer all of you individually. I just don't. So this is being recorded. I will post it in its entirety on the page when we're done so that you can go back on your own time and watch forward, through, reverse. This will also have closed captions, so make sure you have captions turned on on your device. And I know I need to start wrapping it up here real quick when I start getting a scratchy throat. So for those of you here in northern Colorado, southeast Wyoming, western Nebraska, chill, be patient. It's coming. It just took its sweet little ass time getting here. But Friday into Saturday is going to be our show. And I'm just working on figuring out how much is going to fall. Okay? So my marching orders to you. If you do not have to travel, don't. If you have to travel, tell someone where you're going and what route you're taking to get there. Have an emergency kit in your vehicle. Google is free. There's a lot of good stuff you can put into an emergency kit. Change of clothes, snow boots, gallon of water, batteries, flashlight, blankets, non-perishable food items, enough to last you for a day or two. Because if you get stranded, these emergency crews are working their butts off, and God bless them, but they're not going to be able to get to you right away. Okay? If you have the ability to stay home and work remote, do it. Don't risk it. And to those of you employers, if you have the ability to shut your doors for a day or two, keep your employees safe, do it. Just err on the side of caution. You don't want to mess with this. So that's all I've got for you guys. I'm working my tail off. Thanks for your time and attention. And I'll keep pushing updates out on the Bookface. Denver and Front Range weather. For those of you that don't like social media as much, I have a website as well, CodyTheWeatherGuy.com, where I post forecast information every single day, CodyTheWeatherGuy.com. And of course, I get to do this full time because of all of my amazing sponsors. So supporting local means you're also supporting me. And you can find a list of my current sponsors, obviously on my website, CodyTheWeatherGuy.com. At site sponsors, just click on Colorado and you'll get the entire list. You guys are amazing. Thank you for your support and for your trust. Be safe, stay healthy, take care of each other. Don't be dum-dums. And I will continue to update you until this thing's done. Okay? Put on your damn helmets.